Now, I have the pleasure to introduce to you Captain Sanjay Srivastava, CEO, Crew Management, Messrs. Suntech Crew Management India Private Limited, and chief guest of today's function. He was trained at Great Eastern Maritime Training Center, T.S. Jawahar, and then joined GSCO as a cadet in 1983. He served on product tankers, OBOs, and general cargo vessels. Subsequently, after chief mate's examination, he joined Peter Smedvik Tankers Norway, mainly on Aframax, VLCCs, and Suezmax tankers. Having served as master for 3 years with them and Ugland Grimstad, Norway, he moved ashore in 1994 in SDS Shipping Corporation as marine manager and was soon promoted to general manager after 6 months. He subsequently joined Pratibha Shipping and FPPL, a new startup between Norwegian, British, and Indian entity as CEO, General Manager. He joined Sail India Group in 1997 as partner and executive director, and in due course was then the global CEO and MD. The group expanded into various shipping alternatives and facets such as ship management, crew management, ship agents with offices around the cities and ports in India, logistics on. The group was among the leading companies among its competitors around the globe. After the Sail India Group is sold to the Edson Group, company listed in Oslo, Norway Stock Exchange, with offices around the world in 2007, he was retained by them as CEO MD and then in tandem with his Indian partners repurchased the Edson Ship Management Crew Management Training in 2010 with offices in India, Singapore, East Europe and Russia. Then in 2016, the Sail India Group is sold to V Group and subsequently after being acquired, he was heading the merger between the companies and took charge in V Group as Global CEO of Sail India Group and Managing Director of V Group India. After the merger, in the spirit of entrepreneurship, he decided to end his relationship with V Group around June 2019 and became a part of the Suntech Group in December 2019, which was formed by his partners in May 2019. He was on garden leave till December 2019 from V Group after parting from them in June 2019. He has been a director with FASMA for several years till June 2019 and was chairman of FASMA for 3 years. In the past, he received Entrepreneur of the Year award on 2 occasions. He is a regular speaker on shipping related topics at various international and domestic conferences and forums. He has headed several transformation projects at Sail India and V Group. Now, I request Captain Sanjay Srivastava to address the passing out cadets and the gathering, please.
It's my privilege and my honor to be here today to address the distinguished faculty, the esteemed guests of honor, proud parents, patient guests, and most importantly, the IMS class of 2021. Today is a day of unbridled celebration and it marks a distinct and impressive achievement for your class. So everyone please join me in giving our warmest congratulations to this class of 2021. When the director, Deepak Shah, invited me to be the chief guest, besides being humble, I was excited speaking to people who are way younger and way cooler than I am. I immediately said I could do that because I do that every day in my office and honestly enjoy being surrounded by young people, except when they rub it onto me, Sanjay, what was it like being in college without the internet or worse? When they say, Sanjay, can you come here? We need to see what old people are going to think of this application. So as I stand here before you, I'm both nervous, very nervous, and excited. I can see the reflection of your self in my eyes. I can feel your desire, and I can feel your yearning to excel. And on a lighter note, I can feel it that you want to exit this place faster than sound. Seriously, believe me, this is one memory you will cherish and treasure for the rest of your life. So it's your time now to salute your educators at IMS. Gentlemen, before I cut to the chase, let's take a moment today to once again thank the very beautiful people who brought each one of you into this world. They gave you love, pushed you to find your niche, kept awake for your exams, gave you curd with rice and sugar, and before you left for the exams and took your late night calls for the money you begged for, and then quickly that you spent it on wine and women. So let's give a very special round of applause for them and thank them for spending their lifetime preparing you for the world's deepest challenges. In the same way, let me once again applaud the graduates of the 23rd GME batch, and for those of you who have graduated with distinctions, well done, great job. And as I like to tell the rest of the students, you will be a chief guest or a commencement speaker at some time just like me. Nothing to worry, there's hope for us too. Now, cutting to the chase, let me share a small story with you. Gentlemen, in the 18th century, it was claimed that a disease spread across entire Europe and eventually made it to America. It was called the puerperal fever and also got famous with the name Black Death of Childbed. Basically, the story was that women were giving birth and would die within 48 hours after giving birth. This was the ravage of Europe, and it spread through the US, and it got worse as time passed by. And over a course of century, in some hospitals, believe me, the rate of death of women giving birth was as high as 70%. This was the Renaissance time, right? This was the time of data and science. The world had thrown away things like mysticism and tradition. They were all men of science. These were doctors. So they wanted to study this and find scientific reasons, for the cause of death. So naturally, they got studying. They would spend hours every day studying the corpses of women who died giving birth, and in the morning they would conduct autopsies, and in the afternoon they would then go and deliver more babies. And it was somewhere in the mid 1800s that Dr. Oliver Holmes, who was a son of the Supreme Justice of US, realized that all these doctors conducting autopsies in the morning were not washing their hands before delivering the babies in the afternoon. He then pointed it out and said, "We are the problem." The key word here is, we are the problem. Believe me, they ignored him and called him crazy for 30 years, as we always do when somebody points out our mistakes. Until someone finally accepted that if they finally simply wash their hands, this challenge would be resolved. And that's exactly what happened. When doctors started sterilizing their instruments and washing their hands, the Black Death of childbed disappeared. So, what is the lesson here? The lesson here is, we are the problem. We still see this today across all professions and professionals who possibly are way smarter than the rest of us until things crumble and collapse. Then they blame everything else except themselves. Point here is, cadets, accountability. This is the first lesson I would like you to learn before you step on a ship. You may take all the credit for the things you go to do it right, as long as you take the responsibility for the things you do wrong. It has to be a balanced equation. Remember, please remember, leadership is about integrity, honesty, and accountability. And these are all components of trust. You will appreciate that spending time learning the basics of getting it right is of absolute importance. To get the bigger picture into the frame, it is of absolute importance that you have your basics absolutely perfect. You need to know your basics so good that when you attempt a problem, then you know where you have to start. To be the best in your position is something you will always strive for. But you can only achieve it if you have a plan, a schedule, and above all, an inquisitive mind to not only know how you're going to do it, but most important and more important, why are you doing it? Being foolish at some time or any time in your life is not a worrisome thing. We've all been there. But if you're foolish at the start, where you are today, you're bound to be a great learner and enhance your accomplishments. And then you're going to realize that when you made all those mistakes, and that's fine, everybody makes mistakes. You should make mistakes. That's how you learn. But that's when you will realize that you were not victims of the situation, you were the architects of it. Today, each one of you has to make some deep commitments to yourself. The main thing being that you will make every effort under the sun to excel at every task you undertake. And for this, you may need to cut the umbilical cord from your parents, sacrifice your time with friends and girlfriends, miss marriages and family, take such decisions that taking such decisions is a tough call. Yes, absolutely. It's always tough because who wouldn't want to have fun? Who wouldn't want to be with their parents? But remember, Arjun only saw the eye of the fish and nothing else. So powerful and focused was his gaze and concentration. Guys, you should know I was certainly much less prepared than you are today for the marketplace. So, my honest, friendly advice to you is get busy. Don't wait for inspiration and passion to find you. Get up, get out, and explore. You have to find it yourself. And once you find it, grab it with both hands. Because remember one thing very clearly, lightning rarely strikes twice in the same place. Remember, despite your deepest commitments, you will fail at some point. And there's nothing wrong. You will fall down, absolutely. Believe me, the world does not care. World does not care how many times you have fallen down. As long it's one fewer than the number of times you get back up. You know Mr. Tendulkar, the Sachin, the great Sachin. He scored a number of low scores. If you're a Sachin fan, I know you'd like to get after me, but he did, right? But he never looked up to see if he had hit a six. Do you know that? This is something Sachin confessed. He said he could feel it. So if you miss the target, get back up and shoot again, and this time much higher. Remember, your work is going to fill a large part of your life. Yes, I mean, all of us. I mean, you have such senior people, such illustrious people in this place, and the respected Chogle sir is there, and you can ask him how much time did he have with his family. You can ask Uday how much time did he have with his family. So remember, work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied and be successful at it is to learn to enjoy it. So do not settle for less, because let me tell you honestly, your time is limited. So guys, my only friendly advice, as I always say, is aim high, aim big. As I'm coming towards the end, let me share something very nice, which my father shared with me when I was joining my first vessel with Great Eastern. The fact was, I didn't understand it even then. But today, or maybe a couple of decades back, when I understood it, I thought this was something I would like to share with some of my younger friends, and like you are here today. He told me something very nice. He says, never be a bhakt and never attempt to emulate anyone, no matter how exceptional or celebrated he may be. Honestly, guys, as I told you, I didn't understand this, what he meant by. Because we all have this habit of trying to be, when we like somebody, to be somebody else. Or like to copy his style, or maybe people try to be like Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan, or try to bat like Sachin Tendulkar, or now like Virat Kohli. No, it's not possible. You will not have another Virat Kohli. You will not have another Sachin Tendulkar. You will definitely not have another Sehwag. So let's be honest here, that you have to be yourself. So as I said, I did attempt myself, despite knowing that I was running the wrong course. I did attempt But honestly, I miss that mark in 1,000 different ways. But the point is this: it is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique. It's not easy, but if you accept your misfortune and handle it right, your perceived failure can be a catalyst for profound reinvention. And now I wish you joy and happiness and success. I wish you great roof over your head and someone in your life who will care about you more than you care about yourself. Believe me, a strong mind can carry a weak body, but a weak mind may be not successful in carrying a strong body. So my only request is stay foolish, stay hungry, and go for it. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your kind